Alright, hello folks. Again, this is part 3 of a series discussing probate fraud and child trafficking. It's a continuation of part 1 and 2, and today we're going to talk about the name of the individuals who got away with kidnapping my daughter. The name Don Nilrim, Robert Nilrim. I'm going to show to you that this is a fake identity. It's an alias. But to recap real quickly, in this document, we have antedated documents claiming these people have guardianship over my daughter by a woman residing in Arizona. She's not even in New Hampshire. And it has no visible probate seal showing through, which is a possible forgery. And again, a same copy of that same forgery. And then one with a different name of Jane Bradstreet with no signature on it, claiming to be a court copy, alleging that these people were given guardianship in July 16th of 2008, and this is supposedly dated but unsigned, which makes it a void document, of course, because there's no signature, with no probate seal, again, showing through. And we are now going to show that Mr. Robert Nilram is a fake name. This man you see here was found in an obituary. This man was employed as a maintenance technician for the Texas Department of Transportation. And his name is Robert A. Biker Bob Bulio, 53 of Brownsville, Texas. And he was born in Lewistown, Maine. He was a Catholic, and he married a Nancy Smith in Brownsville, and he worked as a maintenance technician, again, like I said earlier, of the Texas Department of Transportation, and was a member of St. Anthony's Catholic Church. And he is survived by his wife, 3 sons, Robert J., David, and Dean, 3 daughters, Amanda, Lori, and Kim, and 2 sisters, Mary DeVoe, Pauline Stavon, and his brother Richard. So, this man died supposedly April 28th of 2002, but I'm going to prove to you that he faked his death, and that this is actually Robert Nilram who faked his death, or appears to have faked his death, after my daughter was, supposedly, he acquired a guardianship. Christian Chronicle, this is the church they go to. Right, here we go. And as you can see, as Robert Nilram here, he transformed into Biker Bob to Preacher Robert, minister 30, member Lewistown, Pennsylvania Church. Nilram said that his wife Dawn was searching when they found buried dead preaching in Concord, New Hampshire, and that they were baptized in 1909, and that he suddenly became a Christian. And that minister is now in Canyon View, San Diego, California. Nilram completed distance learning only 2 years after miraculously becoming a Christian. This isn't what the article says, but I'm ad-libbing here. But you can read it for yourself. And that they are, that they provide homes for many foster children, so they claim to be foster parents in this article. There are probably very few sins I have not been guilty of. How about kidnapping? and child trafficking possibly. Alright, so he also uses Biker Bob. And this is a public record search. And you're going to see here that he altered his age. And that his real name is Robert Bulio as well. Now, he could be the son of the guy who deceased, but I don't think so. I doubt there'd be Biker Bob Sr. and Jr., but so this man is a biker. And as you can see, sometimes U.S. search is not always 100% accurate. He also has child support liens out of Pennsylvania. And it says he lived in Massachusetts and Brockton, so apparently he used more than one address. Again, we have evidence, even if the person who is deceased, Robert A. Bulio, is not the same guy, we still have proof that he is probably the son, and that he changed his name to commit crimes, which is illegal to use an alias. This is in the court record. I had to flip this up because it was upside down. I don't know how it ended up that way in the binding, but that's just a little minor mistake. And this Robert Nilm all of a sudden claims that he's living in Rotterdam, Netherlands. So we have a man with a fake name, involved in identity theft maybe, related to the Bulios and Texas. And you'll find out that David Nilram is somebody that lives down in Texas. So there you have a relationship there. And then he's related to DeVos. Now, I went to high school with a girl that tried to assault me at Pembroke Academy, and her name was Lisa Ann DeVoe. She was 23 or 24 years old, not even a senior in high school, and she ran a gang of girls that liked to bully and beat up people, and she tried to beat me up one day, and the loser was even pregnant in high school. So what is a 23-year-old woman doing in a high school of underage students, running a gang, beating up high school students? Now, we both got charged in that case, and this is a very long time ago, but she assaulted me. I didn't know she was pregnant, and I went to the teachers. They wouldn't do anything, and she assaulted me again, and they again tried to blame it all on me. But what is a 23-year-old woman doing in high school, pregnant with underage high school students? Makes you wonder. I can't accuse her of being that the father is underage, but it makes me wonder what was really going on in Pembroke Academy. So there you have it, folks. And I'll even put a bigger, you can still get this obituary. It's a little bit bigger size so you can see it for yourself. That this is a fake obituary. This man may have faked his death, got a fake name, and is involved in kidnapping children, stealing probate. And he's related to people, relatives that I went to high school with. Not Mary DeVoe, but Lisa Ann DeVoe. So there we have. And Lisa Ann DeVoe knew Thomas Aaron Clark, as I remember Mr. Thomas Aaron Clark told me that he knew Lisa DeVoe. So there you have it, folks. Somebody, and this is a bigger picture of the same article, so you can read it a little bit better, that he goes by also by Biker Bob. And so I do believe that he faked his death after they supposedly acquired a guardianship. I did not know about it until I looked this up. And again, he wasn't even a resident of New Hampshire even then. Now, as we know, we also have senators covering it up. And we have the Supreme Court Discipline Council covering it up. This is on BAME, and I'll have to use some outsourced links for that she was suspended to practice law, suspended to be a guardian ad litem, and yet continue to do this, and she may be related to Nazi war criminals. And they knew I wasn't living in Merrimack County, and certainly the Attorney General Department of Justice. So this is really, obviously, something very wrong, and it surely isn't me. They knew I was living in Nashua, which is Hillsborough County, not Merrimack County. And also these cases, if they were open a new one, if it were it was not even the proper venue or subject matter jurisdiction at all, because it's supposed to be family court. And we even have, that's right, the United States Supreme Court denying due process, covering up child trafficking rings. And these people also are living in Pennsylvania again. I was living in California. And here we have them using a fake social security number for my daughter. This is the certified school record, and I'm going to prove this to you. Also, Don Nilram was hired in the school as a health nutrition assistant nurse. So these are child traffickers in the schools now. And the schools were even helping trying to help these people out, stealing children that don't belong to them. Again, we have a fake social security number being used for my daughter. Now, interesting, full legal name, they put her middle name, Lily Mae, instead of her first name. Yet they complained in California about me using her middle name, which is not illegal. And here we have my daughter's real social security number. Usually you don't give these out, but she will probably have to get a new one anyway after this mess, assuming she's still alive. I do supposedly have online contact with her, but that's debatable as to whether that's being monitored or whether I'm actually speaking with her. So I have no idea if the girl that is on there really is my daughter, or if it's being monitored, or if my daughter's really alive or dead or not, because I haven't seen her for 8 years. So if I can't see her in person, then I will be filing for wrongful death on these people as well for murdering my kid. I'm going to assume they killed her. And that is it. California State Bar also covering it up. And there's other minor things that they claimed, like they claimed that my daughter's teeth were a mess because I wasn't trying to make it sound like I wasn't taking care of her. And as you can see, she saw a dentist and everything was fine. They said my daughter's teeth were a mess. No cavities. I guess they want to, if her teeth don't grow in straight now, they use that against you as a parent to justify stealing kids. Disgusting. And here we have proof, Melissa Olson, that CPS was never directly filed in this case, but were clearly helping them out in the backdrop. And then, this is an old report, but as you can see, disclosed, find a guardian ad litem report for the matter. It's Henrietta Lanou. Somebody by the name of Henrietta Walsh Lanou. No BAME. So what does that tell you, folks? I never even met Lenora BAME. Those are just additional files. Sorry about that. And we will lock the rest. And then we have, these are just the restraining orders on the birth father from Jennifer Starr. And this is me writing the father, telling her to stop cyber stalking me, those kinds of things going on. That's just part of, 1 and 2. 2, I discussed this more. Again. And again, if you go back to this, it wasn't just the warrant that I contested. But the mere fact, in the middle of it, respondent states she was not served with a petition in the case. Deputy attorney provides copy of petition. This is on the minutes of the order. So right there we have proof of denial of due process, as I did not get a copy of all documents that they had against me until the middle of this ex parte trial, which isn't even a proper trial. And now we're going to talk about the clerk up here, Miss Ginger Green. And you're going to again see another conflict of interest. This is a letter Mr. Robert wrote to Jenny Green. So we have Ginger Green and Jenny Green. What are coincidences? And Jenny Green knew Thomas Aaron Clark's uncle. And I have an outsource link proving that. So again, we see that this Jenny Green pretended to befriend me, and yet she's working for the court with Ginger Green. And I bet she'll try to say it's a coincidence, it's not the same people. But they wrote letters lying to her. And they're trying to say that I was the one that began the guardianship, which is absurd, because she was living with me. And they're the ones clearly filing that ex parte. If it was an unnoticed proceeding, then how could I have consented to a guardianship to begin it? And as you can see, Jenny Green sent them stuff. And then you have it again, she's told about that. So, there we have Jennifer Green. There were other papers in here, there's a lot of them. For instance, with Lenora BAME. Also, if you notice that there was a third partner That partner was Ted Barnes, who separated from their firm at the beginning of this case, and that it was to cover up a conflict of interest involving the band Breakin' Benjamin. Now, Ted Barnes is a relative to one of the band members, and Gary Gibson, the commissioner in the case, may also be a relative to Benjamin Burnley's wife, who's also possibly related to the Kennedys. And as you can see, she's not even listed as a guardian ad litem in all the state. Not only was she suspended to practice law, she was also suspended to be a guardian ad litem. She wasn't even, and in the state of New Hampshire, you have to be a certified guardian ad litem. So she was not certified at the time that this went on, and she was suspended to practice law and suspended to be on the guardian ad litem board. But the minute I file a complaint, it gets ignored. Kidnapping America, unfree country. As you can see, they're all in alphabetical order. You see no BAME, but we'll go through the whole list. We got Cameron, C, again, nobody by the name of Lenora Bame on these. No Lenora Bame. No Lenora Bame here. No Lenora Bame there. And this is in the entire state. Public record. And you'll find she is not on it. We're down to letter H. Again, obviously, if it's in alphabetical order, it's not going to be here, but we'll take you through it all anyway. No Lenora Bame. No Lenora Bame. No Lenora Bame. And again, but we do have some other in here. We also have a Landry in here. Now, what's interesting about the Landrys is that they are also involved in this too. Heather Landry apparently was married to Thomas Aaron Clark when he used the name Thomas Aaron White. And previous to that, she was married to Merton Doobie. Plus, I also went to Pembroke Academy with her. And her husband was working for Kirby at the time that I filed the Human Rights Commission complaint for sexual harassment. I don't think he really harassed me that much compared to the others. But apparently she got mad about it. And so she's also involved in this and helping Thomas Clark to run a rape gang and then steal children. Again, there's no BAME. And married to him without telling me. And of course, Heather Landy was friends with Lisa DeVoe as well as Dave Mason, I think Brian Camello, and a few other people in high school that were all part of a gang that went around and bullied other girls in school, including myself. And of course, when I was down in Nashua, I met the cousins Brian Landry and his sister Michelle Arsenal. Her maiden name's Landry, and she's a nurse, and we were friends. But apparently, it was her that was involved, met Sully Erner, and apparently Sully Erner was also stalking me as well. Yes, the lead singer of Godsmack down in Lawrence, Mass. I do have relatives that live in Lawrence as well. Maybe they knew him, I don't know. But I met Sully briefly when I was hanging with Aaron Barker. And, as you can see, we have no Lenora Bame at all on any of these guardian ad litem lists. And that's the last of them in the state at that time. You can see the date when it printed out. And we're going to go back to the school here. Out of the report, they also tried to make it sound like I had injured my daughter, given her a head injury. Alluded to that they didn't outright accuse me of it, but as you can see, the doctor says that another student bullied her at the bus stop at the school, which is school grounds or quasi-school grounds, and gave my daughter a concussion. And the school tried to blame it on me, and the school was even allowing other teachers to assault my daughter. One of her teachers was assaulting her. I found out from another student who had claimed that this was going on, and they were bullying my daughter and harassing her, all to help out these people to steal my kid. Who was also a school employee out in Pembroke. And we're going to look at the list here. Within a month, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 school injuries. 12 actually, because she got an ice pack. We have 12 school injuries in a month. $13. So there we have. You have teachers now allowing students and some teachers beating your kids, abusing your children just to help out child traffickers. And I'm going to tell you what school that was so everybody knows. That is Birch Hill, located in Nashua, New Hampshire. And people and their parents need to know, and they need to be investigated. That's it.